Hello, Parker Pre-Ks, hello Pre-K3s, and hello Pre-K4s. Today, I brought you a very interesting book, and I was inspired to choose this book because many of you are building little habitats, little homes for little creatures. And some of you have mentioned about maybe making a little fairy garden. And I have a book that is very dear to me, that is especially about little fairy gardens. And this book is old, old, old. My little daughter used to love it when she was 4 years old. So that's been a while. But I remembered having this book, and the title is Dear Fairies. And you will see there are little surprises all along in this book. So I invite you to enjoy this book that's called Dear Fairies. And there are lifter flaps as well. Adele was having a birthday party, and all her friends were coming in their fanciest dresses. She was wearing the fairy outfit that her mom and dad had given her the night before. It was the best present she had ever gotten. They had a picnic in the yard and played lots of games. Everyone had a wonderful time, but at last it was time for the guests to go home. After her friends had left, Adele helped her parents clean up, and it was then that she found a tiny letter hidden under the strawberries. Wow, let's see. Lift the flap. And there is, here it is, a little letter. Oh, I wonder what it says. I can open it for you and read it. Dear Adele, we enjoyed your party today. The cake looked delicious, and your dress is beautiful. Love from the fairies. And there are 3 kisses on the bottom. I'm going to put this little letter back in the strawberry bush and close. Wow. That night, Adele wrote back to the fairies in her neatest handwriting. Dear fairies, thank you for the nice letter. I am very excited to have a letter from fairies. Please, will you write to me again? Lots of love, Adele. In the morning, she hid her letter behind a chestnut leaf along with a little cake. She could not wait to see if the fairies would write back. Here she is hiding. When she went to look later on, sure enough, there was a tiny letter behind a big snail. He must be the mailman, thought Adele. And let me open. Ah, and there it is, a little letter. Let's see. With a little dragonfly on it. I'm gonna open this for you. And this little letter says, Dear Adele, thank you for the little cake. It tasted just like fairy food. Love from the fairies. I didn't know the fairies did like birthday cake. But of course, here's a little snail. But of course they do. Birthday cakes are so delicious. All right, let's see what's next. Adele wondered what the fairies did find to eat in the garden. Dear fairies, what do fairies eat? Do fairies make cakes? My favorite is peanut butter and jelly and sometimes I have a pizza. Lots of love from Adele. She waited eagerly for a reply, looking out all the time to see the fairies deliver it. She did not see anyone arrive, but when she went into the garden to check, she found another tiny letter in between some mushrooms. Oh, and look what's there. I don't know if you guys can see it. Tiny little fairies living in the mushrooms. Let me lift this one flap for you. Teeny tiny. Let's see what this letter says. Oh, there's a little ladybug. Let's see. Here you go. Dear Adele. I have to turn it so I can see it. Fairies drink raindrops and eat berries, and we make fairy cakes. We also buy nice things to eat from fairy markets. Love from the fairies. P.S. Why didn't you wear your pretty dress today? I'm going to put this back here behind the mushrooms. Like that. Oh, Adele wrote back at once and hid her letter in a pea pod. Dear fairies, my fairy dress is for dressing up and parties. Mommy says I can't wear it every day. What do fairies wear? I think you must have beautiful red dresses. Lots of love from Adele. As she was hanging out her doll's dresses to dry, she watched even harder to catch a glimpse of the fairies. But the new letter arrived by a butterfly. Oh. Let's see what this letter says. It's a little butterfly letter. Let's see. Here's this tiny letter. Dear Adele, fairy clothes are made of butterfly wings and flower petals. Sometimes we copy human clothes if we really like them. We love dressing up. Love from the fairies. I'm going to put this back here. Carefully. Yep. And close the butterfly. Dressing up was Adele's favorite game. She ran back to answer the letter. Dear fairies, I like dressing up too. I wish I could see your dresses. Do fairies have parties in the garden and play games like me? Lots of love from Adele. Adele glanced around the garden as she put her next letter in a hollow tree root. The fairies could be waiting her right now, watching her right now. And sure enough, it wasn't long before she found a reply hidden deep in the petals of a rose. Oh, let me see. I'm opening the rose, folding up and down. And look at that. Another butterfly letter. Wow. Dear Adele, we have wonderful moonlit parties in your garden with music and dancing. We invite all our friends. We love parties. Love from the fairies. Oh, I thought they do. That's just then Peter from next door looked over the fence. Look at what we've caught, he boasted proudly, holding up a jar of minnows. I've got something better than that, Adele said shyly as she showed him one of her fairy letters. But Peter ran away, and Adele was sad and burst into tears, and she ran into the kitchen. What's the matter? Asked Adele's mother. Adele cried, "Mom, did you write my fairy letters?" "What letters? Show me," said her mother, giving her a hug and drying her eyes. Mom's looked very surprised when she saw the tiny letters. Come with me," she said. Upstairs in her bedroom, Adele's mom took out a carved wooden chest from her closet. She lifted the lid, and inside were hundreds of tiny letters. Wow. Hundreds of tiny letters. "These are all the letters I had from the fairies when I was a little girl," she explained. "When I grew up, I thought my mother had written them for me, but now I know there really are fairies in our garden." And here's Adele and her mom reading her little letters from when she was a little girl. And here, there's a little idea. There used to be a little writing paper and little envelopes. Well, my little girl and I, we used up all the little writing paper and all the little envelopes. But what I have here is a little leftover fairy dust in a little bag, as you can see. Little golden stars. And we used to write little letters and put them out in a yard, maybe under a stone, maybe behind a butterfly's nest, or maybe, oh, and there used to be a little golden pencil, or maybe in a flower bed, and we would wait to see if we got anything in return. And there's a little picture of fairies, little envelopes and little letter paper. The end. Well, I hope you like the story, and I hope that after a little bit you get inspired and you can write your little fairy letters. Have fun!